Hello my friend, how are you? I hope you and your family are doing really well and keeping safe and healthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let me zoom you up. So I wanted to come on here to kind of have like a movie reflection on the ones called the Super Mario Galaxy World, and then the other one is Hoppers. But first I just want to say I hope that you've been doing well and that you had a very blessed Holy Easter Sunday. And if you're Catholic like me, I hope that you're enjoying the Easter season so far. So happy Easter. So I had a chance to see Hoppers before the start of Holy Week. And first of all, I didn't even know that it's a Disney film until I saw like the start of it, and I was like, oh wow, this is a Disney movie. And I really love Disney movies. So I thought the movie Hoppers was a really unique take on caring about the environment for animals, especially like within a large city. I know for certain in New York, they do that in Central Park where they have respect for the animals' habitat, and it's such a large park that it's definitely on my wish list to go someday. I would love to explore all of Central Park. But anyway, it's kind of like the same concept with this movie. It's just kind of centered about this girl named Maribel, I believe, and she grew into the love of caring for nature and animals, followed by her grandmother. And she was like an advocate for caring for the environment, essentially. And so when Maribel grew into a teenager, she pretty much has the same practice as her grandma and her memory to kind of watch out for nature and for the animals that are in need. So there comes like a situation where the city mayor wants to destroy a nature preserve and make it into like a business center. So basically this movie is about Maribel trying to gather all the animals to live in this nature preserve so that they don't knock it down, that there's evidence that there's animals living there, because if there's no animals there, then right away they have the approval to start building businesses there. And so what ends up happening is that she tries her best to gather people with signatures to stop this from happening, but it just ends up not working out for her because a majority of people say no. Or they say that they're busy, or they just don't answer the door. And so she's pretty much close to giving up until she sees a beaver getting captured. It was like a young baby beaver, and she ends up following where it goes, and it turns out that it's somewhere in her school. And so then she also finds out that they use captured animals to transfer themselves to being in their bodies somehow with their technology. And basically Maribel ends up doing that with the baby beaver she sees, and then she takes the opportunity to go gather all the animals, and along the way it's just like a lot of turns and a lot of problems that happen, and of course there's friendships too that's getting built. So I definitely don't want to spoil what happens in the movie because there's so much that's going on. And overall, I thought the movie was really fun to watch. It had a really nice message of respecting animals and where they live, especially if it's kind of the origin where they essentially live in. So like, I think it's very important for people to do that, especially in governments and business establishments. It's very important to have animals that do not become disturbed, and they don't look for anywhere else to roam and to live somewhere else that they're not supposed to be. I feel like the other message I got is that teamwork really makes the dream work. If you really want to make something positive to happen, and it could be like about anything that you need help on. You really can't do it alone unless you have someone else to help you. And most importantly, it's really important to actually ask for help if you're struggling. And that movie just basically kind of captured that whole concept. Like, it's really important to have good friendships, a really good source of people to count on, and being a team player. And this is why I really love watching Disney movies. Every movie I have ever seen, whether it had good or bad criticism, there's always just a positive message that you could learn from. And for Hoppers, it's just more about respecting animals, respecting the rights for them, because they don't have voices at all. They just live in this earth, and it's really important that we watch out for them if there's no one else that's going to do it. So today's palette, I'm using the ColourPop Tangled, and I have never used this one. I purchased this one in Black Friday at a really good deal. So these are the shades, and it's so beautiful. I really love ColourPop's eyeshadow formula. So this first shade I'm going to take is called 18th Birthday. So I really loved the movie. I highly recommend it if you were kind of curious about watching it. I thought it was really fun, and there wasn't a lot of songs in the movie that played. So like, it wasn't like a musical, but they did have a few, but not that much. It was more focused on the story. But I really, really recommend it. It's really, really nice. I did enjoy it. So the next movie I want to talk about is the Super Mario Galaxy World that came out, I believe, last week during Holy Week, which I'm really surprised. So I just saw it yesterday, and I had the chance to watch it in 4DX. And so basically, this is a way to watch the movie without 3D glasses, and the chair moves based on how the movie is played. So if there's like a lot of action, the chair is constantly moving, and there is special effects like the water splashing on you or the wind of some sort of breeze that's happening, or it does like slow movements if like there's a spaceship flying or anything like that. The chair is the main part of the experience. And personally, I did get a little tired from being on the chair for a while. I started to feel like my legs felt like they were becoming restless, and I wanted to stretch them out in the middle of the movie. And for this movie in particular, the Galaxy World edition, there was just a lot of action happening. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade called Lost Princess. And so for the characters, they did bring back Mario, Luigi, and then Bowser as well. And so for this new movie, the son of Bowser came on, and he was actually pretty funny. But he was very serious and taking the air of Bowser's work and trying to destroy the castle and taking power of another princess. And so basically this movie is about rescuing this princess. And oh yeah, and Princess Peach does come on, and Yoshi and a few of the floating stars do come out again, and they're basically children to the princess that gets captured. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Yoshi does come out as well. And yeah, so those are basically like the main characters. And I really love the nostalgia of how they incorporate Super Mario and different moments in the movie. I actually have personally grew up playing Super Mario World in the Super Nintendo game system. And I've only knew about Luigi, Mario, Yoshi. Yoshi does come in different colors in the game. So like if he's yellow, he's able to stomp really loudly when he hits the ground. If he's blue, I believe he's the one that can fly. And then if he's pink, the pink one I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember the pink one. I don't know what Pink Yoshi does. But it was really funny. I did have a lot of laughs watching this movie, and I would say it was even better than the first one, just because the first one was a little slow, only because they were trying to introduce where Luigi and Mario were coming from. But the second one is almost like, okay, we know who they are, and they do their part trying to rescue the princess, and Bowser is just like, he's just having like a big tantrum. As well as the baby Bowser, his son. Overall, it's just like a really fun movie, a really nice series, and I just love the music score as well, when they include how it sounds when you play the game, and it just makes me really tempted to wanting to play the game right now. So for an all over shimmer shade, I don't know which shade to take because these are all really beautiful. These are like pressed glitters mixed with eyeshadow, and then these are just standard shadows. I really love the names to these two. I think I'm gonna take Stolen Crown and put that all over the lid. I'm just gonna use my finger. I know a little goes a long way when I'm applying these type of eyeshadows. I would say for like one thing that I did notice in this new movie, they did introduce a character I have never seen in Super Mario before, and I'm not sure if they're trying to merge different worlds related to Super Nintendo with Super Mario. But there was a fox that appeared towards like the middle of the movie, and I'm not going to tell you like what he does or essentially who he is, but he is a fox, and I just have never seen him, and I thought it was like really cool to see something that's kind of like out of the usual of what Super Mario is. And the voice actor, he did come out in a movie that I have seen before, but I forgot. I don't remember which movie that was, but it was recent when I did see it. But he did do the voice. And yeah, I really like the introduction that they did for him, and it just makes me wonder if they're going to be continuing with the Super Mario series. It would be really nice. It would be so fun, and I wouldn't mind at all. I think they just did a really good job with the first one and the second one. Okay, so for my inner corner, I'm going to take this shade right here. This one is called Max, which is Eugene's horse. This one is really pretty. It looks white on the pan, but looking it up close, it's like a duochrome shift. It's so pretty. So again, I'm not going to say any spoilers, but I had a really fun time watching both of these movies. I really recommend both if you were curious to seeing it in theaters. But then also I know for sure Hoppers will go to Disney Plus probably by the summer, or maybe even sooner. I would say maybe until next month. Super Mario, I wouldn't know where that would go. But yeah, I really recommend both. You'll have fun watching both. If you picked one, you wouldn't be disappointed. Watching it animated, I mean, I just really loved the story, and it was just overall a nice, fun message. I would say the overall message for Super Mario is having courage to do what scares you, even if you're not good at doing it. So like they really prove that for Mario, where he takes chances a lot throughout the movie, and he shows essentially his bravery from completing those actions. And yeah, it's just a really nice way to always get out of our comfort zone and to always do the right thing. Okay, now I'm just going to switch over to the Laura Geller palette, and I'm just going to take the shade right here, and I'm just going to put that all over my brow bone just so like it could be brightened up a bit. So my friend, I did wanted to create a cream blush using my color pigment palette, but I don't think I have time to do it today. I just had enough time to do like my eyes, and this is absolutely beautiful. I love ColourPop. ColourPop, you're so good. I just love the eyeshadows. I love how everything performs on my eyes. Yeah, overall this palette is super beautiful. Really recommend ColourPop. So I don't have time to do like my blush, my bronzer, and my highlighter, so I'm just going to be using this lip gloss just to top off everything together. Okay my friends, so this is my finished look. So a little mini recap, I really love ColourPop. Like I said before, the shimmers just perform so beautifully. I feel like there's no need to buy a high-end palette when you have something like this in the market. I just think that the glitter eyeshadow, it just doesn't feel glittery on my lip, not my lips, on my eyelids. Like it just feels like a normal eyeshadow, but it's super sparkly. I see that there's different colors shining with this shade called Stolen Crown. It's like it has a pink base, but with the glitters, it's like I see like orange, green. It's just so beautiful. Absolutely love it. And the matte shades are always outstanding. There's never complaints about how pigmented and smooth they are. And so easy to work with as well. They're a little dusty, but that's kind of like what you expect with a matte eyeshadow. Or like a standard trimmer too. But yeah, my friend, that is the end for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I highly recommend you watching either a movie in the theaters or if you want to wait it out. They're both really fun. They're funny. They have great messages, and overall, like, the story is just not boring. So may God bless always, my friend. I hope that you have a good day or night, whatever time you're watching. And if you're Catholic like me, I am wishing you the rest of your days of Easter season. So happy Easter again. I absolutely love this season. I just love the joy of celebrating the Lord's resurrection and how he made heaven happen. He did suffered and died and rose again on the third day. He did that, and I'm forever grateful, and just going to continue celebrating this Easter season as I always do, with a lot of joy. So if you are a new viewer, please consider subscribing to my small channel here. I would love to have you. And if you're my returning viewer, thank you so much for being here. I love you as always. Thank you for your time to watch my videos, and this video in particular. And I hope to see you soon in my next one. Alright, bye my friend.